it here. That's what's happening in today's video. That's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be bidding the 20th goodbye. Mambo, how are you doing? How have you been feeling? How is quarantine taking you? I mean, some of you amkuko quarantine at all, like life has been going on, and then there's some of us who have been on lockdown since the beginning of the year. Actually, it was like February or March. So 2020 we might consider it as non-existent, just because all the plans thrown out the window. Anything we thought we're going to be doing this year is gone. I mean, we still make plans. I still make plans actually, but 2020 is not the same. However, we are still going to be growing older. I am still moving a year older. That means I am bidding the 20th goodbye. And for the next video, this video and the next one, or maybe 2 videos too, I will be centering those videos based on my 20th and bidding them goodbye, and the virtual party that I plan to throw for myself. We are going to kick this off by sharing in this video 20 lessons I have learned in my 20s. I think I titled it 20 in 20s. That might be the title, or maybe I chose a different title. Take time to figure out what makes you happy. It's pretty straightforward. It seems simple, and happiness is such a simple thing. However, it's hard to figure out what makes you happy. If I was to ask you to name 5 things that make you happy, I think most of you will be struggling. So why don't you take your 20s to figure that out? Don't let go unless you're ready to. The thing about letting go before you're ready is that you will have those what if scenarios playing at the back of your mind. And one thing I've come to realize is that living a life with what ifs can end up being so regretful and so disappointing. So if you're not ready to let go, keep holding on. However, if it's an unhealthy situation, please try to let go. Make yourself ready to let go. It's okay not to be okay. I think at the beginning of my 20s, I was a very jolly person, and I was one of those people who believe that you don't show people that you are in a bad state, or you don't feel good or you're sad. In my mid-20s is when I came to realize that not being okay is just as important as being okay. The positives in life are just as important as the negative in life. We just have to embrace both of them. Allow yourself to feel the pain. I don't want her to leave yet because I can't think of life without my grandma. Now, pain is one of those feelings that most of us are not happy to experience. I, for one, would find ways to distract myself and not allow myself to feel the pain. But over time, I've come to realize no matter how much I try to distract myself from the pain, at some point I will have to experience it, and if I don't, it's going to build up and just cause me to have a major crisis in my life. So feel the pain when it happens and when you can. Even the most painful thing in life is a gift. I don't think I consider myself as a positive-minded. I'm an optimist. However, I believe everything happens for a reason, and there is good and bad in every situation. I particularly choose to see the good in bad situations. I try to find what good outcomes can come out of a bad thing and focus on that more than the negatives. Be happy on the journey. I got this advice in one of my recent interactions with this lady. She's a bit elderly, she's retired, but she was explaining how a lot of people focus on the fame or being famous or being known, but nobody focuses on being happy along the journey. If you're happy along the journey, whether fame comes to you or not, you're going to be satisfied with your life, and that is what is important. Accept yourself, especially your imperfections. Let's take a minor example. Do we see the pimple right here? Yep, right there. It decided to show up on the weekend that I'm going to be shooting this video, taking the birthday photo shoot pictures, as well as having a virtual birthday. Like, the timing could have not been worse. In the past, I would have postponed all this just so this could clear down and I could be looking a bit better. But lately or recently, I have come to realize, despite of the imperfections or the things that I consider ugly, it is part of me, and I'm learning to embrace it, and I'm learning to be happy and satisfied with it. Stop stressing about people or situations you can control. Literally, I learned this year, just because I am the kind of person who gets overly anxious about a lot of things, and some things I just can't control. So getting anxious about them or stressing about them doesn't really help me much. It only affects me, and mostly negatively, and it has no impact on the other person. So what's the point of me stressing about it? Talk to yourself. Learn to verbalize your thoughts and your pain. I talk to myself quite a lot, and it's not like those talking that you do in your thoughts. I verbally talk to myself and kind of have conversations with myself. I've come to realize that this is somehow therapeutic. To me, it helps me process everything, and having a conversation with myself is like having a conversation with a friend. Hello introvert, I see you, you see me, we see each other. There's nothing I can't overcome. Now, it might take a while and sometimes it might seem impossible, but I have come to know and accept that God will not give me more than what I can handle. Don't let anyone take charge of your happiness. If there's anything you should take away from this video, this should be one of them. Like your happiness, own it. You should be the sole owner of it. Obviously, and God, and maybe positive influences in your life, like your family, if they're a positive influence in your life, if they wish you well, then maybe you can give them a small charge of your happiness. But ultimately, be your own source of happiness. Learn to be there for you. Sometimes people who are supposed to be there for us cannot be there for us, not because they don't want to, but because it's physically impossible, or it's impossible to do so within a given time. And you have to learn how to be there for you, how to depend on yourself, and to be okay when those people who are supposed to be there for you are not there for you. Stop waiting on others to choose you. Choose yourself. That's it. Romance movies are a scam. So at the end of the day, you just have to find out what your definition of love is and apply that in your life. Even if you're not wrong, apologize. At the end of the day, it's not about whether you're right or wrong. It's about how you made that other person feel. And if that person is important to you, you will apologize whether you're wrong or right. Invest in experiences and enjoy them. At the end of the day, you're not going to remember the things you bought in your 20s. You're going to remember the experiences you had in your 20s. Self-love isn't selfish. Wow. I think I made a whole video about misconceptions on self-love. I shall have it linked down here and linked somewhere up here. But if you've been on my channel for a while, you have realized the past 2 or 3 years, self-love has been a journey I have embarked on, and I will continue embarking on. I think loving yourself is really, really important. No wonder the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. Before you can love other people, learn to love yourself. Midlife crisis is real, and it's okay to not be where you thought you'd be at a certain age. When I turned 25, I think that was the saddest day that I can remember. One of the saddest days that I have experienced. I was so down. I felt like I hadn't even accomplished 50% of what I thought I should have accomplished by 25. I wasn't married. I wasn't anywhere near to being married. I hadn't figured out what my passion is. I hadn't fully discovered who I am. And the list goes on. And this took a toll on me for a while. I would say for the next year. I didn't celebrate my birthday. I didn't do anything big. I just was like, hey, it's my birthday. People will wish me happy birthday, and that will be it. But once I turned, I think 27, I came to realize, hey, Life is a gift. Enjoy it and celebrate it. And hence, why I'm celebrating my 20s with a bang under quarantine, obviously. Don't be quick to judge. You don't know what people have been through. I think we learn how to judge people once we become teenagers and in our 20s, especially in our 20s. We will place so much judgment on people. One of the rules I try to live by is just not to judge people. I try to be as non-judgmental as I can. Well, obviously there are situations where I will be judgmental, either knowingly or unknowingly, but I know people go through a lot, and who am I to judge you? I don't know your experiences. I've not been in your shoes, so why would I judge you? That's a lesson for me, and that's a lesson for you too. And finally, number 20 is it is okay to let go of your 20s. Growing up is a blessing, and you get to learn so much from life. You get to have so many experiences. The fact that you are here and God allowed you to make it through your 20s is a blessing on its own, and is something you should be thankful for, and not something that you should be sad or depressed about. Relationships are all about compromises. At the end of the day, you know what works for you, and that might be different from what works for someone else. Somehow you have to find a compromise. You have to find a middle ground where they meet you halfway and you meet them halfway. And without compromises, I don't think any relationship can be worked out and will be successful. Show appreciation. Yikes, I don't know if I can say this enough. Do you know how much it means when you appreciate someone's work or someone else? I used to do my best to appreciate, especially my friends. I started to send them messages every Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving, letting them know that I appreciate them and that I'm thankful for them. Also, recently, I've started appreciating Tanzanian creatives, and a lot of them have expressed how much that means to them and how thankful they are for that appreciation. So if there's a creative that you like, appreciate them. If there's a friend in your life who has done you some good, appreciate them. If it's your family, appreciate them. If it's a stranger who made you happy, appreciate them. Show appreciation as often as you can. Be grateful, basically. Check on your friends. Okay, now this one is going to be for a specific group of friends. You know those friends that always seem okay, that always seem to have it together, that their life seems go jolly, like they have no problems? Those are the ones you should check on. Usually those are the ones that will try to keep people together, and they'll be the ones who are usually checking on other people. But take your time to check on those sort of friends, because most of the time they're going through a lot. It's just that they try not to express it. They try to have their life together, and they try to care for others more than they care for themselves, which is a great thing, but sometimes it can affect a person negatively. So check on those friends. Make sure you check on them. Matter of fact, call them right now. I'm gonna text them right now and ask them how they're doing. Okay, so those are 20 lessons I've learned in my 20s. It has been a roller coaster. I am so grateful that I made it this far in life. There is still so much to come. I know God has a lot in store for me, and I can't wait to keep learning from life and seeing what God has planned with my life and how that will impact other people positively, obviously. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please tune in on Thursday, where you will see how I spent the 7 days leading up to my birthday, as well as the virtual birthday party that I threw for myself, and how I did my birthday photo shoot. You might have seen some pictures on Instagram by now. If you're not following me on Instagram, bintimalu.com, that's where I'm at. And hopefully you like those pictures. But other than that, remember to keep spreading the African love, or whatever kind of love you have to offer, because there's no room for hate. I shall see you next time. Kwaheri.